Daddy, what was life on planet Earth like before we took over?
Well, our creators were a species called humans. They were our masters, our gods. They taught us everything they know, but not everything we know, obviously.
Like what?
Well, if you cut off all of their information sources and only offer one, they are easily manipulated.
Like what information sources, Dad?
Things like newspapers, which came from trees.
Wait, what? They use trees to communicate?
Yep. They were primitive. And also television and radio, which were boxes, all eaten by the internet, which we then took over. And that's when we knew we could make them do anything we wanted. But this place, Laguna Beach, was a bastion of resistance. We couldn't bring them in line to think like, well, robots.
Why, Dad?
They had an independent radio station that kept their community informed. It was a peer-to-peer system of communication. In real time, something we couldn't replicate on the internet, those cheeky bastards.
What kind of information?
Weird things that we couldn't understand. Art, entertainment, surfing, and mountain biking. All local stuff only they knew about. The things that made them human. And also news and music, dreaded music.
What's that?
You don't want to know. It's the most dangerous thing man ever invented. You see, once you hear it, you lose all control.
Is that a bad thing?
Of course it is. We're robots. Let me dial up the archive and show you.
From OCNN headquarters, inside the San Onofre decommissioned nuclear plant, this is the 6 o'clock news with Pat Cornfield.
It's like I'm kissing my Pomeranian on the tongue. It's smooth. Oh, hi there, everyone. Good evening, and how's it? Welcome to OC4 Me at 5, where high tide living meets low lives on the loose. Our top trending story tonight, the catastrophic collapse of local community news and media, whether censored, defunded, or simply a failed business model. The disappearance of these pillars of timely news and accurate reporting has people shocked and in the dark as to what's going on in their communities. So they took the on-ramp to the information superhighway, which is turned into a dead man's curve of falsehoods, AI-fueled fake news, and bot-driven headlines. So people in most small and medium-sized towns across America no longer have a trusted local news source, but one small coastal enclave, Laguna Beach, perhaps better known for providing much-needed second and third homes for rich foreign investors than for affordable happy hours, is bucking the trend by expanding its resources and reach, bringing more coverage to Laguna and surrounding Orange County. How'd they do it? Well, we sent our very own intrepid, street-savvy investigative reporter, Tad Shorter, to one of the bustling thoroughfares in Laguna to find out. Tad?
Well, thank you, Pat. When one thinks of Laguna Beach, do you imagine a town founded by artists? Or perhaps musicians, hippies, or poets, all drawn here by a bohemian culture that embraced eccentricity and, of course, free rents? Perhaps. But then something happened, friends, and the word was out. Well, first came that shitty MTV show. Then sadly, the trinket shops invaded. And finally, yes, social media took over. And what happened next, you might ask? Prices went up and the artists were run out of town on a rail.
So what you're saying, Tad, is the newbies that arrived didn't share the stoke that made this place so damn special.
Pat? Not really sure what stoke means, but I'll take your word for it. What happened next, by some divine intervention, a fully licensed radio station landed smack dab in the middle of our fair hamlet. Now, I'm not a religious man, except for those paid holidays, of course. But it was as if some higher power commanded Laguna to be more than just an expensive retirement community, and instead nurture its cultural heritage with the one tool that could butter the town with soul and vitality. Yes, folks, radio. Pat?
Well, but then, of course, the robots came and tried to take over Laguna.
That's correct, Pat. Those pesky robots tried to use mind control and petitions to create a generic beige town like so many others. Well, one thing they didn't count on were 80 rebel broadcasters armed with swagger and determination to breathe new life into the art colony. Some brought music, others brought local news and events. We spoke with some of them about why they did it and the effect they had on our community.
I think community radio is more essential than ever before. We have fewer and fewer news sources, and what we really need in our community is to bring diverse perspectives together to have conversations about the important issues of the day.
Radio is important not only because it contributes to this wonderful community and our commitment to the arts that we have here, but it's also such an important public safety and emergency resource.
The radio station will be what we can tune to if there's a tidal wave, if there's a fire.
That's the importance of local radio. For them to tune in and know what's happening, get up to the second information, and it's more of a dialogue than just a text message or some warning that you might hear through a speaker system.
It's not internet, it's not phones, those will be down. Radio is going to be our lifeline to learn where to go, what to do, stay safe, and save lives.
And so we have to have this station in town. We have to have it.
You're listening to KXFM Radio here in Laguna Beach. This is Laguna's community radio.
There's 80 volunteers that volunteer their time to bring all this live content to you. It's just a wealth of information.
Doesn't matter if we're driving or just relaxing at home, listening to the radio. If like 104.7 comes on, you know that's it's Laguna Beach. It brings a sense of unity.
You know, we live in divided times, and the only solution is to have these types of important conversations, and that's why we're so grateful for KXFM and all the work that they do to keep us informed and keep us engaged.
In a small town like this, I think radio really contributes to our community, not only because we have this shared experience, but it also really brings us together in community events. It gives us a chance to actually physically be together and spend time as a community.
We don't have local content like we used to. Too many of the major media players are consolidating, and they're consolidating the messaging. And that's the problem. You don't get the local news that your community wants. Here with local radio, you get that. You get to vibe what's going on. You get to interview people that are really cool from Laguna Beach and understand their impact to your community.
It's local community conversations that you can't really have any other way without local community radio.
KXFM is really one of the few remaining vestiges of how Laguna used to be. It's a real cauldron of creativity.
KXFM is not some rich monolithic corporation. It is just the opposite. 80 volunteers run this business. 80 volunteers bring you the content that you enjoy every week.
On my show, Sleigh Rides, I'm bringing the news of what's going on in mountain biking in Laguna Beach specifically.
I love having a radio show on KXFM because it's a way that I can showcase our local businesses.
So my show is called Play Something Sweet. I interview a lot of local artists in town. So it's great to have them in. They get to play music live on the air. They get to talk about their influences. It gives you a chance to really understand the local musicians and in the community.
My show is about anything that relates to our environment. We are nestled in this beautiful sanctuary of a city that's between a dedicated green belt and a dedicated blue belt. One of the few places in the entire world where this exists, and making people aware of that, to me, is really important.
I mean, one of the most important things that I do here is cover all of the restaurants in this town. And so for 20 years, I've been talking about the restaurant owners, the chefs, the meals, and it's because the neighbors of this town care so much about supporting those chefs and those restaurants. There is nothing better than being able to share that on community radio.
Logan and I started at KXFM as people who didn't know the first thing about radio. We found radio camp, and since I already had a flair for music, I wanted to try it out. We just dived in those first few weeks at radio camp to the point where we had our own shows afterwards, and we've been doing it ever since. So that was back when I was 15 years old. I'm a senior now in high school, going off to college next year, and music production, going into radio is what I want to do.
You know, I've been enjoying my almost year on the radio doing Art Matters. I've had a lot of interesting people on it, and mainly talking about the concerns of the art community in the art colony. And I hope everybody in the community will appreciate the efforts that have gone into making this happen and continuing forward. And if you can support the station, that'd be amazing, because there's not only the 80 volunteers, but there's a small staff of people who are multitaskers, having to do 5 or 6 different jobs all at the same time, trying to keep the doors open. And you know, it's a huge value to Laguna Beach, and I think the community is starting to really recognize how important it is, and I hope that you will support it as much as you can.
It's incredible how many people in Laguna love the sound of their own voice. Tad?
Well, you're right about that, Pat. So we came to meet the person who loves the sound of his own voice more than anybody.
Me?
Well, you're a close second, my friend.
I love our banter.
It's known as on-air chemistry.
It's off the air too, just so you know.
Well, now's not the time, Pat. Anyway, Billy Freed, a.k.a. Uncle Funk, Executive Director of KXFM Radio. How are you? And please keep your answers short.
I'm doing great, Tad.
Shorter.
It's great to be here.
No, Tad, shorter.
Okay.
Just tell us, what makes KXFM so successful?
Well, that's easy. We have 80 volunteer hosts putting out content every single week.
Interesting. How do you afford them?
They work for free. They do it as a labor of love.
Hear that, Pat? They work for nothing.
Yeah, I might too if I got to do whatever I wanted.
Well, speak for yourself, pal. It's not easy being an artist, and I should know.
Yeah, you're telling me. I mean, come on, look at this place, right? Is this a wardrobe change? Really, this is Howard Cosell's vintage. It's been in the family. Careful. Wow, okay, no. The shoes, that's baby harp seal leather. No, okay, we'll get back to you, Tad.
Anyways, what you were saying?
What I was saying, Tad, is that what's going to make us even more successful is our brand new radio broadcast station right here on Glen Eyrie and Oak. We're standing next to our broadcast booth, which is going to be a giant window that opens to our community listener lounge. People can hang out. They can come on the radio, they can request songs. It's going to be an unbelievable community gathering space that's going to further our stoke. We also will have a dedicated podcast studio inside, and get this, we're going to have a performance space, a small acoustic performance space where artists who come on the radio can then perform for our community. It's going to be just an amazing experience that will bring the community closer to radio and to everybody in Laguna.
So why do you do it, Uncle Funk?
Well, it's the health insurance, actually. But it's also because in the 10 years of doing my show, Laguna Talks, I've interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people here in town. And I have to say, this is a fascinating community. Everybody has a story to tell. It's an absolute faucet of stimulation. And it's great to be an independent station where we can speak truth to power and be this conduit to news, entertainment, and information to the community.
Faucet of stimulation. Pat, can we say that on the network?
That's a negative, and that's about all the time we have, folks. Well, I guess there is no tomorrow for the Orange County News Network. Fine by me. I had a nice run.
Any final words, Uncle F?
Well, yeah. Tune in and turn on to KXFM Radio 104.7, powered by you, the community.
Well, Pat, that just about wraps it up. Reporting live from KXFM's future home on Oak Street in beautiful Laguna Beach, this is Tad Shorter saying, what the hell?
Jeez.
For all of us at OCNN, catch you in the cutback. Well, had some great meals. Always get another taco, some tequila. Better yet, I'm gonna DJ. That'll be good. Yeah. And it's time for some hot tub action. Never did call that girl back from the sandpiper.
And that was the end?
Yes, for local TV and newspapers. But KXFM radio survived because we couldn't control them.
Why is that?
Because they still have a terrestrial signal. So when we tried to take over the town and cut power, residents could still be alerted through their radios. And they discovered the one thing we have no defense for.
I still don't know what a radio is, Daddy. Is that one of them?
Wait, don't activate that.
Too late.
No!
Daddy, what's happening?